All right. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to our Dynamic Edge team trading Zoom. We trade as a team Monday to Friday, every day in the morning, between 6 to 9 a.m. We keep the call open for people. And honestly, with this strategy, you don't need to be on the charts for 3 hours. But as leaders, we do it for you. And as a team, we do this Monday to Friday. But the Wednesday night call, this call, is really about opening it up so that others can get a little bit of a sneak peek into what we do, kind of come in and see how the sausage is made, right? So, Henry from Toronto, welcome, Henry. Great to have you here. Awesome. So we're going to show you a little bit of that tonight. So for those of you guys who are new on the call, if you do have MetaTrader installed on your phone with a demo account, and I really want to make that clear, demo only, please. We may even be able to grab you a trade opportunity or two, but again, demo only, and really for the purpose of just demonstrating how Dynamic Edge works. So before we get into that though, I'd like to show you guys, I really want you to actually be able to get a good look at really why we're here. Like, why am I here right now showing you this? So I want to just introduce something to you guys. So I'm going to share my screen here. So just give me a moment and we will click all the right buttons and we'll get this show on the road. Okay. All right. So 2 years ago, I was repairing appliances, which is actually a great career, and I'm really grateful for it. It took me a long ways, but what I was noticing is that over time, my income was going down and my expenses were going up. And my wife and I have 5 kids, so it's rough when that happens. And so I'm a praying man. I went to God and I said, God, I really need something. And I dropped out of high school. I had no education other than the tickets that I needed from my trade. And what happened for me is I actually heard God say, "Yeah, I got something for you. Keep an eye open." And it was just a few days later, my buddy showed me the academy. So, I Am Mastery Academy is a trading academy that is really pretty unique. It's actually very disruptive in the trading education space. Your typical cost for trading education, kind of entry level, is around 10,000 US dollars. Yeah. So, for example, if you were to go to YouTube and you see some method that you like in trading, and then you contact, of course, the method on YouTube you're going to see is incomplete by design. So, and in order to be able to really learn, you've got to pay for it, and that's fine. That's fair. So, what you would typically would do is you'd contact the guy who put it up, and he'd offer you his trading course, usually in the ballpark of about 10 grand. And you'd get some education. You'd probably get some videos from him, pre-recorded stuff, and maybe a couple hours on Zoom, and that's about it. So that's typically what is normal in this education space. So the academy was created by a gentleman named Christopher Terry, and Christopher Terry, he saw that problem. He saw that really the bar to entry for your average person, and Chris is actually a fellow who came from nothing. He came from poverty. And then he went on to build himself quite a empire financially, and trading was one of the bigger tools that he used. So he really wanted to bring Wall Street to Main Street. So really what we mean when we say that is, everybody knows, as soon as you talk about Wall Street, you talk about trading, you talk about markets, it's kind of there's sort of an agreement that it's kind of a thing for the elites and not for the working class. So the academy is really about bringing that to the working class. So when I started this, I jumped straight in. And, one of the first things I saw was this slide right here. And this really goes into what I was just talking about before. 95% of the population, they control about 5% of the world's wealth, of the money of this globe. And then there's the 5% minority, and they control 95% of the wealth. And to really understand those numbers, for me, I'm a little bit ADHD and I don't quite get numbers right away. I got to sit and think about them for a while. What really helped me to understand it is kind of the idea of, 95% of the population having 5% of the wealth is kind of like 95 squirrels fighting over 5 nuts. And then on the other side, you've got 5 very fat squirrels and they've got 95 nuts and nobody's fighting. So what we're about, guys, is we're about showing you how to go over and actually join that 5%, at least financially. Now, of that 5%, it does break down. You've got 4% who are entrepreneurs, and we do have an opportunity to get you into that 4%. We're actually not really going to touch on it too much tonight. What we're going to touch on here is this 1%, the investors, where money actually works for them. So that is a very small number of people in this globe actually know how to do this and do it successfully. I'm really excited to be able to say myself, over the last 2 years, I've gone from the 95% to this one, actually to the 5%, because I'm in both of these, the 1% and the 4%. If you want to know about the 4%, reach out to the person who brought you on the call, and they can tell you a little bit more about how that works. But it's the most exciting thing. You know, a year ago, I shut down my appliance repair company, and it was just me. It was a family business, actually, but as far as what pertained to me, it was just me here in Kelowna. And I trade for a few hours in the morning, and that's it. It's just wonderful. I homeschool my son now. I'm able to teach him math, and honestly, my marriage is getting better. It's just amazing. I'm so grateful. And, you know, really, I look at all that, and I have to give glory to God for that. This is just a tool that God used, but it's a very powerful tool. And the reason I'm on this call with you guys tonight is I want to give you a really good, solid look at it and really how it works. So Dynamic Edge is a very small part of the Academy. The Academy is really large. It's almost 200 educators we have, and many of them teach different strategies. So the thing I love about that is, you know, go back to that $10,000 trading course. You get in there and you start learning, and you're like, wow, I really don't like the way this guy teaches. He's awful. I just fall asleep as soon as I listen to him. Or this particular swing trading strategy means I have to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day waiting for the right setup to come. And then sometimes I miss the setup and I'm frustrated, and then I take the trade and I end up in the wrong place because I entered late. You know, and that's, you know, so now, but you're stuck, right? You paid your 10 grand. You've got to learn this dang strategy. The beauty of the Academy is it's sort of like, not quite, but sort of like Netflix for trading education. You pay a subscription, a whole lot lower than 10K for sure, and you get access to a whole trading academy. So anyway, so the solution really to getting you into that 1% is the world's largest financial market. It's interesting how if you were to go down to a financial planner, and nothing against them, you know, they're doing their job and they do a great job, but you typically, as a retail investor, just a regular consumer, you would be introduced to the stock market, when in actual fact, there's a much larger market available that the banks play in, and it's called the Forex market. So what we teach you how to do here, guys, is how to trade in that market and to be consistent, not to be sort of coming in with a gambler mindset. You know, during the last 2 years, it's almost epidemic. You know, everybody wants to be a financial guru. Everybody thinks they've got a tip for you. And, you take your garbage can out and your neighbor yells across, "Hey man, I just bought such and such a crypto. You should buy it too." Really? You know, I mean, this is our money. This is our future. This is what we got to do to live on this planet and live in this society. Do you really want to take tips from your neighbor, even though it's really fun and cool? Or do you want to really learn from the best? So simplified education, this little screen here is sort of a panel that this is actually what I call it the lobby of the Academy looks like. I'm in here almost every day. It looks really familiar to me, but that's what it looks like. And you can dive in and you get your education. And there's a number of other, it's not just education, to be honest, guys. There's a number of other ingredients, I would call them, that are absolutely vital to you being successful as a trader, and honestly are missing from most of the trading education that you would get out there on the market today. So Forex education, the 100 series here, you know, we'll start you off if you need it. If you don't even know what a candle is, you don't know what a chart is, you look at all those lines and candlesticks and numbers, and it makes smoke come out of your ears, then you are just like I was 2 years ago. I didn't know what a candle was. Didn't know any of that. Didn't know what a pip was. Anytime anyone wanted to talk to me about money, I would get nervous and try to leave the conversation as quick as I could because it felt very out of control for me. Here in the 100 series, we start you guys right off. What is a pip? I think is one of the, or what is Forex is I think one of the first little video clips in there, and it's beautifully laid out. Now, those of you on the call who have traded before, you don't need that. You can jump over that. So the Academy starts you off very, very easy with baby steps, but here under this roof, so to speak, are some of the most advanced, some of the world's most advanced trading methods. So by no means is it a basic education we offer you. One of them is smart money. Smart money is probably one of the more advanced trading strategies, where you actually are able to detect entries by big banks and institutions, and you're actually able to trade along with them because you've learned how to identify what they're doing, the market manipulation they do. Personally, I don't really find that necessary. I have everything I need with Dynamic Edge, but it's all there. And I'm really excited for that because we're seeing so many people getting successful as traders. I've never seen anything like this before. So now, one of the things I do want to talk briefly about is digital currency. This morning, I had an article pop up on my news feed that kind of grabbed my attention. And I'm going to try not to be too political about this because I do not want to make this a political call. But right now, cryptocurrencies have a very, very important place in the world. And it's only going to become even more important. And as the world switches over from the fiat system of, USD, CAD, Japanese yen, euro, etc., to something called CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and just generally switches over to crypto and blockchain. And that's happening very soon, by the way. But as that happens, those of us who understand just a little bit of how crypto works, who have a well-diversified crypto portfolio and understand how to trade it, understand how to protect yourself, understand how to take your crypto and put it in cold storage, kind of the electronic equivalent of taking gold bars and burying them in drainage pipes under your backyard or something, right? Except it's a whole heck of a lot easier. Way easier and safer, to be honest. So those of us who have a little bit of education on that front are in a place to be able to profit massively over what's coming and I don't by any ways, I don't claim to have a crystal ball, but there's a lot of very, very smart people in the DCX Academy that will teach you exactly how to do that. So that is something not to sleep on, guys. And I'm just going to jump out of this here, and I got to move my Zoom controls because I can't see anything. And I wanted to just show you an article by CBC. Now, we all probably know about the trucker convoy that happened in Ottawa and how the government's tried to squeeze them out by shutting down, the GoFundMe and all the stuff that they were doing to support themselves. And I have no interest in taking a position on that. Although if you look at my hat and Google the movement that I'm part of, you'll probably figure out where I'm at. But that's not the point of this call. The point is that there is now people are now turning to cryptocurrencies to protect their money from the government. And I do not want to in any way take a position whether that's right or wrong. But all I'm here to say is it's happening. And it's a time where we do need to understand what's going on. And I'm not speaking from fear at all. I'm speaking from opportunity. Every entrepreneur, they're always looking for those opportunities. So for anybody on this call that doesn't know about crypto, reach out to the person who brought you on the call and get into the DCX Academy. So what we're going to show you tonight, though, is a strategy from the FRX Academy. The IM Academy, there's so much under the roof of this institution to teach for you to learn that we've divided it up into multiple academies. We even have an ECX Academy, which I'll show you here in a moment. And ECX is for e-commerce. It's pretty cool. So And here it is right here. The ECX Academy, I mean, one of the biggest changes in the world that's happened is that everybody's shopping online. We still sometimes, just for convenience, we're not worried about getting sick, but we're just for convenience, we'll still order our groceries and then go pick them up in front of the grocery store. We've even had them delivered a few times because we're too busy. And it's just like the whole world is shifting that way. So as an entrepreneur, why not take advantage of that and actually build your own e-store? And it's very, very powerful. And it's another stream of passive income. So I'm really, really excited for the opportunities that are here under the roof of this academy. And I'm blown away every time I look at one of them. When I looked at the ECX Academy, I was actually really surprised by how simple it is. One of the goals of the people who started this academy is to give regular people like you and me multiple streams of income. Every millionaire, billionaire, whatever, every successful entrepreneur, if you sit down and ask them how many streams of income, they're all gonna say more than one. Many of them will have roughly 12. And that's just that's just smart business. Have multiple streams of income. Be diversified in all of your income streams so that nothing can sink you. Or very little. So this is Go Live. I love Go Live. I'm on Go Live every day. Somebody recently made a really good point to me. He said, Steve, if you were like an NBA star, basketball star, or NFL, whatever it is, or NHL, would you just go and learn how to play? Let's take the NHL. Would you go and learn how to play hockey once, and then just spend the rest of your time on the ice? Just kind of show up maybe 10 minutes before the game, kind of get dressed and just get out on the ice? No, you have a coach, right? So that's what we do here. Actually, having said that, we do have several people who've come in, learned what they needed to from the academy, left, and they're successful traders on their own. But many people do need that coaching. Market conditions do change sometimes, and man, is it great! And the community, oh my goodness, so good. But Go Live is where your mentorship comes from. Our educator, the educator we're going to show you this evening, he's on 2 days a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays around 10 a.m. Pacific. And if you miss it, because that is in the middle of the workday for many people, you just watch his session in the evening because it's recorded as well. I really enjoy getting on live with him because I can ask questions in the chat. And he knows us all really well. He knows us all by name. His name's James Leone. He's over in the UK. It's just so fun. So, and then he just goes through the day's trades with us. And so he'll talk me through the trades that I've just taken that morning after market open. And, maybe I took a trade, maybe I took a small loss. And so I'll type in the chat like, James, I did this and this and this. What did I do wrong? And he'll look at it and say, oh, Steve, you missed such and such. Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? Thank you. So it's so helpful. And that's what Go Live is. Now, one of the biggest, actually a bigger factor in your success as a trader is not even so much the technical side, it's the mindset side. And so we have a whole academy devoted to that. It's called the MMX Academy. And because Chris Terry and the leaders, they know that if your mindset isn't right, it's going to be very difficult to be a successful trader. So, and trust me, guys, when I was brand new, I heard someone talk about mindset and I dismissed them. And then when I got in and I started trading, I figured out the guy was right. Mindset is really, really important. So there are so many ingredients here. And this is the last ingredient I'm going to talk about. And then we're going to get into some fun stuff here. So now, if you guys were to actually sneak in, get past the security guard and get into a trading floor somewhere where you've got a room full of monitors and you got all the professional traders sitting there doing their thing, trading, the money for maybe a big bank or a hedge fund or something like that. One of the things you'd see is on every monitor, you'd see millions of dollars worth of AI and tools so that these guys and gals can really do their job properly, because there are some things that actually computers are better at than humans. And so we offer that for you guys too. And it's all part of it. I'm going to show you in just a couple of minutes here, one of our AI tools. It's based on this little tile here, this little blue tile. See how it says PV there? It's built on the pivot scanner and it's really powerful. And that's our strategy. It's all based off of watching for all the confirmations to line up. And when everything lines up, boom, pips or money to make it simple. So that is it. There's also some apps if you want to take trades from educators, just kind of copy and paste. I guess it's kind of fun if you're getting started with that. There's some really great traders pushing out trade ideas. This is what it costs. Your first month is $234, and every month thereafter is $174. It is like a Netflix subscription in the sense that there's no commitment. You can jump off anytime you want. I had one friend of mine who prepares tax, and so she had, during tax season, she just paused her subscription for a little bit because she didn't really have time to continue to learn. She was too busy with taxes. So that is what that is. And again, keep in mind really what the going rate is for trading education. 10 grand. If you were to set yourself a budget for 10 grand, you've now got a lot of time with this monthly subscription in which you can learn your skill, and you get up to date. Everything's up to date. You get to be part of the community. It's really powerful stuff. And I'm so grateful for it, because if it wasn't for this, I probably would still be turning screwdrivers and my knees would have probably worn out by this time. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and stop the share there and jump off of this. And I'm going to bring up a good friend of mine. Let me see if I can just, pardon me, my computer's not behaving here. There it is. That's better. I'm going to bring up a good friend of mine. Actually, I was just trading with him this morning, and he was sharing a little bit of just what Dynamic Edge has really been for him. And I was thinking to myself, I should get Matt to jump on and this evening if he's willing and share a little bit. So thanks for coming and jumping in, Matt. I just really wanted people to hear what Dynamic Edge has been for you, what your experience has been just trading with us, and just your thoughts. So if you don't mind unmuting and sharing there. Oh, there he is. So guys, this is my friend Matthew. Matthew, how long have you been trading, and when did you start trading Dynamic Edge?
Steve, before I start talking, I just want to thank you and the leadership of this group for giving me this opportunity. It's been a good family, and I've learned a lot from you guys, so I appreciate this opportunity. But to answer your question, I think it's been about a month, maybe a little bit longer. I've been with IM for probably since earlier last year. I just didn't get into trading. I was kind of just studying for a good portion of it. But yeah, I've been trading for about a month. Yeah.
Very good. Amazing. Wow. So you started with Dynamic Edge a month ago. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And my journey to get here has been kind of an interesting one. I know you don't know all the details. Justin kind of knows more of the details. Justin's part of this group, for those that don't know. But my journey to here has been kind of an interesting one. I've got a couple of university degrees. I have a teaching degree and a business degree in HR. And I started this journey, my educational journey, thinking I was going to be an accountant. And I thought that was boring, very boring. And nothing against if anyone is an accountant, but I just thought that was boring because I didn't want to work with numbers all day. Ironically, what is trading? I'm dealing with numbers. But yeah, that was kind of my journey. And I went through a bunch of different jobs. I actually did tax prep, and I'm not a tax expert, so don't ask me for advice. I went into tax prep. So I helped people organize, get ready for taxes. And that was fun, but it was like, man, this is so much time. And then I got into teaching, and I was teaching law, and I'm not a legal expert. So don't ask me for legal advice. But again, it took so much time. I was just like, marking and prepping and I have family that's in teaching, so it's nothing against that profession. It just wasn't for me. And I had done some trading before, kind of in the European markets, the German market, so which would be, I don't know, what is that your time, like 12 to 8 or 1 to 9 or something like that. And I was just trading in that market, and no training, no support, just kind of on my own. And that just wasn't fulfilling. And so I kind of jumped between jobs. And then a good friend of mine, Justin, who I mentioned earlier, told me about this opportunity. And at first I was kind of leery because of my experiences before, But once I got into it and studied, once I start learning the different strategies, I learned a few things. One, you're not alone. You're not alone in this journey. So if some people are just like, man, this is going to be so hard, or I'm not sure what to expect, you're not alone. Okay. You know, the people that you're hearing tonight, or if you get into the calls with us, they've had to go through this journey of ups and downs, and they still are learning. So you're not alone. And I've also learned, and I was kind of thinking about this before I was thinking about what to say tonight, is I've also learned a lot about forgiveness during this. And not to get into anything too deep, but the reason why I say forgiveness is because you're going to make mistakes. And, you're going to, and I shared with the group this morning, you're going to break a few pencils. I have actually, and I kid you not, I actually have something to punch if I get mad. And it's not a person or anything. I literally have something to punch, because it just, sometimes your emotions get in there, which you should never have affect your trading. But you're going to make mistakes, and so you need to be able to forgive yourselves, just forgive yourself and learn from them, because if your mindset isn't right, like Steve shared earlier, you're not going to be able to trade, and you shouldn't trade. There's a lot of talks about, well, you shouldn't trade when you're angry or sad, which is obviously true, but you also shouldn't trade when you get super excited, because then you think you're invincible. And that's kind of a mistake I had at the beginning. I had some really good days, and I don't know if Steve remembers this. I'm sure a few people do, but like, I had some 100 pip, 120 pip day trades, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, oh, it looks like it's going up or it's going down, and you make your 50 pips a trade or whatever or more, and I was just, great, this is awesome. And then I had some bad days, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then I had some good days, and up and down. And so I've just really learned that even though emotions are part of us as humans, they can't be a part of trading. So when you follow this system, the dynamic edge, whether it's the teachings of James or during the trading sessions with the team, you've got so much at your disposal. You've got people that know the technical side. You've got some people that know the apps that you're going to be using. You've got people that are really focusing on mindset and the words we use, not just the words we use for ourselves, but the words we use while we're trading, because they can be distracting. And yeah, just also having a balanced approach. I know Steve, doing a little shout out to Steve here, but just having a balanced approach even before you get into the trade. So, whether it's listening to a song or meditating or whatever it is to get your body and mind right is so important. So if you have any concerns, there's a lot of people you can ask questions on to. And yeah, there's so much opportunity to grow and learn, and to do well. And the beauty about it, and this is my favorite part about it, and I know Steve and Chris especially, Chris Leyland, not the other Chris. I don't know the other Chris that well, but really just, they always talk about, it's like you're only on for a couple hours a day. And so if you're concerned about, well, do I have time to do my other job or spend time with my kids and family? That's the beauty about this, is that you do have that time. My biggest challenge, and this is just me being vulnerable, is getting up in the morning. I've had to deal with health issues. Like, I have some sleeping disorders that I've had to deal with. Mornings are rough for me. So that's why the whole mindset and getting yourself right before I trade is so important, because, let's be honest, we all have things we're going through. It could be family, could be work, could be finances. And so, it's really important to get your mindset, even if, you're rushing to get on because you want to get on before the big move or whatever. Always try to look over your plan. If you have a plan, you should have a plan, or eventually you will have a plan. And then just prepare your mind and body before you start trading. I do have the fortune that I do have a business background, so I've probably, caught on to some of these concepts a little bit more. But don't let that discourage you. My teaching background, I've had students who barely even spoke English, and they're writing business communication, documents. So don't discount the abilities you have in you, but you have to put in the work. The basics of the technical part will come, but you have to put in the work for your mind first, which it can also be, getting your body ready as well. So yeah, I don't know what else you wanted me to share, but that's kind of been my experience. So if you need me to share anything else, I'll be glad to. Even if someone has any questions from the group, I'd be willing to answer those.
Wow. Thanks, Matt. You know, yeah, I just wanted to, I after what you shared this morning on our team call, I just thought, it would just be such a blessing just for everybody to hear from you. And just, it's been I've watched you. I don't know you that well, but I've watched you just grow and grow and grow, hit those low points where, you lost a few pips and come back to the team and, we talk and kind of get you back on the right track again. And I remember when I experienced that. And then my buddy Chris, I'm going to introduce to you next year, my friend and business partner, he kind of helped put me up right back on the right track again too. Because you're right, Matt. It really is something. It's remarkable, actually, isn't it? How emotional we get about our money. It's just it's crazy. Like, why are we so emotional about money?
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
One of the things that my good friend Justin, that most of you know, told me is said, and it's been reiterated in, it's even in the training, and James even emphasizes it, is don't don't trade money you can't afford to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for your bank account and for your finances, but it's also for your mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because then your emotions get involved. So I don't know if you've talked about the gate system yet, but there's a system that allows us to kind of increase the amount that we trade as our account rises and our risk tolerant rises. And I've actually used it as more of a daily goal for now, just because I'm just not confident increasing that risk yet, just based on where my skill is. But once I do, I have a system that allows me to say, okay, once I get to this level, this is how much I can trade, and this is
Yeah.
my risk tolerance. So, um, you definitely want to have that mindset of just, can I afford to lose this? And the way you go around that is you have what's called stop losses. I don't know if you've talked about that, but you
Yeah.
have stop losses so that it doesn't work too far against you. And that's allowed me to manage risk, because at first I was like, well, I don't want to take trades if there's a risk of losing money. Well, there is. But when you use the strategy that we use, and have the discipline with your stop losses, the risk is minimal.
Yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up, Matt. Two things there. Um, the stop loss is one of them, and also the gates. And so the gate system, I won't go into detail now, but basically, guys, it allows you to start with and I don't want to talk about dollars, we're not really supposed to, but it allows you to be able to start with a 3-figure amount, a very, very small amount of money that pretty much almost anybody can afford to lose. Um, and what it allows you to do is turn that into something that is very, significantly more. Um, and it's actually obviously it's astronomical compared to what most financial advisors will offer you on a yearly basis in terms of gains. But even in the forex trading space, it's pretty unique, actually. And it's exciting for me because I'm never really risking more than just that small amount of money I started with. So I don't trade with money that I can't afford to lose because I don't have to. So, and it's because of the Gates system. Then the other thing you brought up, Matt, is great. The stop loss. So, what I should probably do here. No, I can explain this without sharing my screen. And thank you very much, Matt. Thank you so much for your time there. Um, I'll put it this way. We're going to talk in pips because we're not allowed to talk in dollars. There's some government compliance that we have to watch out here for, guys. But pips are just the way that we measure market movements. And you could put in a certain lot size with your broker that would give you $1 a pip, but we're going to talk in pips. So let's say that I have a trade that when it hits its target, I'm going to make 60 pips. Okay. So I'm going to have a stop loss, though, set for 15 pips. And that is actually how I trade, literally. I keep my stop around 15 pips. It's a little tight, but it works well for me. So what this means is I do my technical analysis. I see the opportunity. I click the button. I'm now in a trade. Uh-oh, the market goes against me. I lose 15 pips. And that's the maximum I can lose is 15 pips. So, okay, well, That sucks, but we take it on the chin, as our educator says. Next opportunity comes along, and with Dynamic Edge, that opportunity is typically within about 10-15 minutes. You get another opportunity. So we click the button. Oh, wonderful. Look at that. It went right to its 60 pip target. So, or let's actually make this even worse. Let's make it into a really bad day. Okay. So I take the next opportunity and I actually hit another loss, and I lose 15 pips. Okay. So now I'm down 30 pips. But I know another opportunity is coming. And I've, studied for some time at the feet of the great James Leone and with this amazing community. So I know I'm down 30 pips, but I know there's another opportunity coming. And sure enough, here it comes. Everything lines up. We get the nice little arrow on the chart. We click the button. Boom. Within about 6 or 7 minutes, it hits its 60 pip target. Bam, I've got 30 pips in the bag. I'm 30 pips positive. So I just made 60 pips in that third trade of the day, where my two previous trades were 15 pip losses, and now I'm up 30 pips. And actually, for me, guys, my daily target is 32 pips. And that's what I need to go through the next gate. So that's what that is. What I've just explained to you guys is the advantages of using something called risk to reward. So you have a risk that is always smaller than your reward. And so when your risk is smaller than your reward, you can actually afford to lose a couple of times. So you can, in that particular example I gave you, I lost twice and won once, and yet I came out ahead. I actually got within 2 pips of making my target. So that is a very key part of what we do, and it's called risk management, and it's taught by the great James Leone, and actually by many of the educators in the academy. That concept of risk to reward is not a unique concept. So not, at least not unique to Dynamic Edge. So I am really excited to introduce my friend, my business partner, my brother in Christ, Chris Leyland. Chris is actually, there he is. See if we can get his camera. There he is. There's the man. He is actually part of the reason why I'm here. Chris showed a little over 2 years ago, showed his friend Dan the academy. Dan jumped in, and then Dan showed me. So if it wasn't for this guy, probably wouldn't be sitting here, guys. I'd probably be out working a long day, just getting home from fixing dryers and dishwashers. So thank you very much, my friend, for that. And Chris, he runs a call every morning, the call I talked about earlier on in this call, where we actually jump on the charts together as a team, and we trade Dynamic Edge. We trade the Nasdaq, the Nas 100. It's an indice, and he is kind of, I don't know if you guys have ever played tug of war before, but you get the really strong guy on the team. You always put him on the back, right? And he's kind of the anchor. And that's kind of what I think Chris is for us. He's kind of the anchor. He's got a deep booming voice, which you're going to hear in a moment. And he comes on the chart and he says, on the call, and he says, guys, we have bearish divergence. And everybody listens because it's Chris. So Chris, take it away, my friend. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. I've asked Chris just to show a little bit of really what Dynamic Edge looks like and really how it works. And guys, don't be afraid if you don't understand it all, because I didn't the first day either. Over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Throw some sevens in the chat for Steve and for Matt. These guys did an amazing job here sharing some information with you guys. They've got servant hearts. They want to show this information to people because they are experiencing the value that this brings. There's a big difference in the world right now when it comes to markets and the way that we look at money and the way that we actually use money. And unfortunately, there are some good things about that, and there's some negative things about that. And, unfortunately, money can sometimes be a punishment, right? You ever had a speeding ticket, right? You ever paid taxes, right? Like paying taxes is like being punished for making money. Right? When you make money, you pay taxes. When you spend money, you pay taxes. So it's kind of there's this balance. But, just so that I can kind of get an idea of, who's on the call and who has, seen this information before, Who's seeing it for the first time? So if you're just seeing this for the first time, you don't know what a pip is, you don't know what a candle is, you've never seen a chart in your life, throw a 1 in the chat. And if you have seen this before, you kind of have an idea of the markets and what this kind of means, just throw a 2 in the chat, just so I can kind of have an idea of, who I'm talking to and what we're going to kind of explain. So okay, so we've got some people that have seen this before, so that's good. Now, what I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to share my screen here. And, right, we got that going there. Perfect. Okay. So this is our dynamic edge. This is built on the pivot scanner. And what this does is, this is nothing, too special, right? There's a bunch of lines, and it can become very, confusing just looking at it the very first time. And it's just really understanding what all these lines mean and what it is. So, within the strategy, we've got different things like moving averages. We've got Bollinger Bands. We've got MACDs. And these are all telling us a story, right? It's all telling us, what is happening within the markets. And we're using a 1 minute time frame. We're also looking at a 3 minute time frame as well. We're also going up in time frames and looking at higher time frames to kind of see a little bit of a bigger picture and what's happening there. But everything is telling a story. Every candle that is painted is painting a story and telling us exactly what's going on. And now when Steve talks about the emotions in the market, or Matt talks about the emotions and having things, having your mind right when you come into the charts, it's totally true. It is 100% true, because learning this technique, learning this strategy is very, very simple. James Bootcamp video is 26 minutes long. That's his, for really the kindergarten level. When you get into the academy and you go through the 100 series, the very first video is what is Forex, and it explains it. So you go from kindergarten level all the way up to into advanced level of education. But his strategy is so simple that it can be explained in 26 minutes. Now, there are some other things to understand, what the different indicators mean, and he has classes for that. And that's really, really helpful. So when it comes to the emotional side of things, when you come to the chart and you look and the chart is telling you something, and your little brain says, oh, well, I think it's going to go up, or I think it's going to go down, or I just have this feeling that it's going to go up. No. This market does not give a rip about how you feel. I'm sorry, I'm being real with you. And that's the harsh truth. And I've gone through this. I know that Steve's gone through this. And we've got into trades, and we've held on to trades where they're in the negative. And we're like, oh, I think it's going to come back. I think it's going to come back. And I'm crossing my fingers. Oh, I hope it's going to come back. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it does. But we've learned in this strategy that we need to keep our emotion out of it, that we need to do exactly what the chart is telling us, so that when we do get into a trade that is not necessarily the right setup, we made a bad decision, or we read the chart wrong, we know when to get out. We know that we should not hold a trade that goes that far into the negative. Right? We know that we should be just clicking the button, because I can tell you, when you look at your account and it's in a negative, that is not a stress that you want to have in your life. I can tell you that right now. You can spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and days looking at the chart, looking at your trading account, seeing this trade in drawdown and seeing the negative in your account, and you're stressing about it. Not the life for me. Not the kind of trader I want to be. If I make a mistake, I'll take a small loss, a very small loss. I'll take it on the chin, as our educator says. I'll take it on the chin, and I move on, and I find the next setup. right? Because while you're waiting for that trade to come back because you feel it's going to come back, you've missed many, many, many opportunities to take good trades. Really, really good trades. So in dynamic edge within this strategy, you can see here on the bottom, one of the first things that we look for is divergence. This MACD, these bars, the red and green bars, those are just simply telling us, price action. It's showing us that there's some data that's calculated. I don't know. I just know that it works, right? And whenever there's a discrepancy between this indicator, these bars, and actual price, that's giving us divergence. So back here, you can see here, right in this area here, right at the very top, you can see that this red candle is a little bit higher than this green one. Just very, very small. So we've got a bit of an up. It's kind of moving up. I'm going to exaggerate this so that you can kind of see it a little bit, but it's angled upwards, right? Because that red is a little bit higher. But look at down here on the MACD. The MACD is showing that bar is lower. So that's giving us divergence, okay? And when we see divergence, the next step in the process is rejection of a line. Well, you can see that this price also came pretty close to that pink line and gave us a rejection and started coming down. And look, we got a signal. This is the amazing part of this AI that IM puts together and works with our educators to improve on every single day. This is the sauce, right? See this arrow? And this blue line crossing down. See the 0 point there? I'm trying to move a little bit slower so you guys can see it. But that's a 0 point within that MACD. And every time that blue line crosses down below or through that 0, we call that a hopper. We don't like hoppers. We don't like them. We love hoppers. We love hoppers because, well, look, signal, hopper. We had to move down. Let's go back a little bit farther. Look at this. Signal, hopper. Big move down. Look at even here. Even here. See this one here where it just came up? It just came up and touched it. And we had a signal. But there's other things that we know that we've learned where we're like, no, it's not a good time to trade. Not a good trade. But anyways, let's look a little bit more. Oh, signal, hopper. Oh, look at this. Signal, hopper. Oh, here's another one. Signal, hopper. Do you get it? Do you want me to keep going? Right? Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Okay? There are many other things to look for that we watch for in the charts with the Bollinger Bands, with these PSARs. See these PSARs right here? See how they're outside? Love it. We love that. See how they're inside here? It's okay. It's not bad. Outside? All right. Now we're talking. Right? Pink and purple. Pink below purple tells me that it's trending down. Simple. Easy to remember. So on here, I think, I shouldn't say I think. We're always trying to watch our words because the chart, like I said, this chart doesn't care what I think. But what I see is that we've come up and tested this pink. We've tested this pink here before. We've tested it again, and it's come back through. And it looks like it's going to come back up. It's going to test it again. And it looks like this could possibly start coming up this way. We don't have any divergence yet. Well, we have bearish divergence here. So anytime that we're seeing divergence on the top, like I drew here, on the green, means that it's going to come down, right? Anytime that it's on the underside from red peak to red peak, it's going to go up. So see how it's kind of moving up? So what I'm going to do for you guys right now if any of you guys have your MetaTrader on your phone, check this out.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, baby. Can you see that? All right. Oh, it's asking for me to trust it. Yeah, I trust it. I trust it. There it is. Okay. All right. So in the quotes, why does it keep going away? What's it doing?
oh man, I missed that trade. Ah,
Yeah. Is it going down now?
and I knew it was going to do this too. I was looking at it. I
Yeah.
was like, we need a pullback, a rejection of the purple. Oh, okay, it's blank here. We're not seeing your phone right now. It's just a blank black.
Yeah. Just one sec. I'm hoping that this is going to come up.
No worries.
I might have to do a different.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I was actually dragging back in my chart, marking up the trade I did this morning. I was going to show it to everybody later, but I missed this sauce happening right now.
All right. So that was Euro USD, right? So just up in the top hand corner, left hand corner, you see the little pencil. We're going to click on that. And we're going to scroll through until we find Euro USD. Oh, sorry. Wait a second. We're going to enter the symbol. We're going to look at Forex, Euro USD. You see it there? It's like the fifth one down. And we're just going to click that little plus mark there. And then we're going to hit the little back button. And then we'll hit cancel. And now you can see down at the very bottom, we got Euro USD. We're going to click on that and it comes up and it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to trade? You want to look at the chart? You want to look at the details, statistics, or do you want to delete it? So I want to trade it actually. So as I'm looking at it, I was already looking at the chart. I know that we probably missed it at this point. But right now with the lot size that's in there, that's you can kind of figure that out. It's pretty much $1 a pip, which is fine. So all I have to do is press sell. Okay. So I've now taken a trade. Okay. Now you can see that right away that there's a little bit of drawdown there. That's fine. And we know that that happens because with your broker, there's a little bit of a spread, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to modify this trade. So I click on the trade itself, right where it shows the negative $2 there, and it gives me some options on the bottom. I can close the position or I can modify it. So I'm going to go to modify, and up here on the top where it says stop loss, I can go in and I can type in where I want my stop loss to be. So we can also go into take profit and we can change the take profit. Nice. Thanks. Oh, my wife just handed me a beer.
A big beer.
A big beer for later.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Wait, you don't want it right now?
That's fine. Okay, so just going to go back now, and I'll show you a little bit simpler, a little bit quicker
Look
way.
at that. You're in profit.
I'm in profit, yay. So what I'm going to do is on the bottom here, you can see where it says chart. I'm going to hit chart, and I can, wait a second. I'm going to go here, click on the trade, and go chart. Okay, there's the chart. Now you can see that red line across the screen. That's my sell. That's where I actually got in. That was my entry point. So I can tap on that line, and on the bottom you see where there's a little window that comes up and it says stop loss and take profit. So I'm going to highlight the stop loss, and I get this solid red line, and I'm going to drag that up. And then I'm going to touch my take profit. It gives me that green line, and I'm going to grab and hold that, and I'm going to push that down to where I would like to have it. I'm going to hit continue, and then I'm going to select modify. So it's now modified my trade so that I have a stop loss and I have a take profit set. Now, if I'm happy with the profits that I've got, I can go in, I can say, oh, there's my Euro USD trade. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go close position, and I'm going to close it with $1 of profit. Okay. I'm going to go into my history, And you can see there's that one trade, Euro USD at $1. So we made $1 profit. Okay. Really simple to use, very simple platform. You can add some of these lines in. You know, these are just some of the DE indicators. Oh, look at it, it's starting to go up now. If I had my,
You would have got stopped out.
yep, I would have got stopped out. That's right. But see, we're rejecting that pink. Here, let's do it again. Let's go. Let's see if we can get that price to come back up a bit before it starts heading back down.
Oh, that's a crazy wick. Oh, it's
Oh
coming up.
yeah. It's coming up a little bit. Just good. It's okay.
There.
Okay. Sell. All right, let's go to trade. Let's monitor that and see what happens. Because I got my other screen open. And now watch. I'm going to do this really quick, so keep your eyes open. Okay, I'm protected. I've protected my capital. Now look, I was in profit. It was almost there. I want to see this thing come down. I want to show you how you can lock in some profits. Okay, I'm gonna move my stop loss a little bit tighter. Just above to that wick. Continue, modify. Oh, it's pretty close. Oh, it's pretty close. I don't normally move my stop loss like this, guys, but I'm moving it just so that I can stay in this trade. It's all on demos, so no big deal. But I want to show you what it looks like to be able to lock this in. But having that stop loss there, it's protecting me. Oh, there it goes. Oh, look at that. It stopped me out.
Yeah.
It stopped me out. But it's probably gonna go back down now. I guarantee it.
Now, was that a trade obeying all the rules, or was that what we call a cheeky trade?
No, that was just kind of trying to show you guys how the MetaTrader works. It's definitely cheeky. It's on demo, so I'm willing to, just go through this to kind of show you guys.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit spiky. It's a little bit kind of all over the place. Let's set that stop loss again. Take profit. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at the history. So $12 loss on that one. So let's just see. Let's just wait and see what happens here. See how my risk is a lot smaller than my take profit.
So the distance between your entry and your stop is smaller than the distance between your entry and your take profit, which is kind of like your destination, right?
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do this on your tablet or your PC as well. The PC version is much better, much quicker. But just for playing around and learning how to place stop losses and take profits and all that thing, trading on your phone is just fine. And you can manage your trades and watch them. With the MT5 or MT4 on your computer, you can actually link them together. So you can place a trade on your computer, and then you can walk away, go do your day job, and have it on your phone to monitor it. Okay, so take a look. I know that it's really close. It's really close, but I'm going to take my stop loss. I'm going to move it down below my entry. Modify. Okay. Now I'm secured. I've actually secured profits. My stop loss or my take profit is still there. But if that price comes back up and touches my stop loss, I'm going to have secured money in the bag. So there it goes. So we can go back. See, there's $2, right? So these are not trades that are following the rules in at all. Just to clarify, this is just for an example, just to show you guys what it looks like, how the trades are placed, how to go in and actually press the buttons. That's what's important for you guys to be able to learn, because I know that when you start this at the very first time, it can be very daunting. It can be very intimidating. Is trading hard to learn? Yeah. hmm If any of you have had kids, that's hard too. And those didn't come with an instruction manual, right? Right. So this is where, the Academy holds your hand through this and being able to do this. I've been trading now for almost 2 years, and it's changed my life. It's absolutely changed my life. Gone from driving 5-ton truck for 5 years to sitting behind a desk for 2, maybe 3 hours in the morning and being done for the day. Like, I'm doing as little as I possibly can in the morning, and then I'm trying to find something to do after that. I'm actually going and working with my friend right now, building fences, helping him build fences because I'm looking for something to do. And I make money doing it. Sure, why not? And I actually placed a trade while I was out working and caught 32 pips while I had a shovel, right? I don't need to be out there, but I really enjoy working with my friend, and it gives me something to do. Yeah.
I love it. I
Cool.
love that, Chris. People doing jobs, doing good things in this world, not out of a place of financial need and financial pressure, but doing it out of a place of abundance. That's what you're doing.
Totally.
So,
Absolutely. And I just want to touch on one other thing that Matt was talking about, and it was brought up on our call this morning. It was having positive thoughts, right? And how important that is when it comes to being in the charts, because what you speak, you will get. You will absolutely get what you speak. If you're looking for negative stuff, you're going to find it. Absolutely going to find it. So guard your words, speak positively. And I wrote this down. Be mindful of your words. We are built in the image of a creator who speaks things into existence.
that's sobering.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So for our creator to speak things into creation and into existence, think about the power of your words that you have over your life and what you do and what you learn. Because if you say that you can't learn this, you're right. You're right. You can't. But the minute that you say you can, it's just a matter of you making a choice. So,
Wow.
but with that, peace. Thanks for having me, Steve. I always love and enjoy being on these calls. If anybody has any questions or anything, I'm sure Steve will open it up afterwards. Yeah, everybody have a great night.
Wow. Guys, those are words of wisdom. Thank you very much, Chris. Wow. That's so true. Our words do have power. And I really wasn't aware of any of that until I started this whole journey with trading. Trading has been something that, and your story may be different. We all have our own story, but trading is something, at least for me and quite a few others I know, has been something that really has opened me up to a lot of growth, because it's exposed for me some of the areas where I've been believing lies about, my own ability to earn, for example. I thought that I was trapped in, a certain salary range because that's just who I am. And now I realize money actually doesn't define me, both in a positive or negative sense. It doesn't. And that's really freeing. And I'm super grateful for that. So, today I took my kids to an indoor trampoline park, and, I looked at what they wanted to charge for it to take me and my two sons in there. Um, I would have in the old me would have freaked out and just walked out of the place. But now I realize, no, you know what? I can take my funds and I can actually use it to bless the owners of this business. So why not? I want to show you guys, just before we go here, the one trade that I took this morning, I'm probably one of the more cautious people on our call in the team. I'm very, very picky about the trades that I take. There were actually a number of very, very good trade opportunities. Here was one here, quite a few. This here, if you look at the very bottom of the screen, you'll actually see the time of day here. And I've got this set to Pacific time. You can see UTC -7 here. So my entry was right here. I got the little arrow here. The little arrow doesn't quite show up there. You can actually see the candle I entered on right here at 7:53 a.m. So what happened is we had the market move down and then reject this level here, blow up right up here, and we sacrifice these pips. These can go. That's fine. And then when we cross this black line, we will sometimes actually take the trade before the arrow because we know the arrow is coming, and that's what I did. Or you can wait for the arrow because the arrow came on this candle and we had a nice wick pullback here. So it was actually perfect. You could have entered there as well. I'm sure many people on the call did. And then up it went. And let's measure the pips here. Right. I entered pretty quick after it crossed over this black line, but I'll start here. And then right up to the top here. I'm just trying to get the little bar out of the way, the little blue bar, because I can't see it. So I'm going to drag it off to the right so we can do that. And then I exited. It's just totally getting in the way here. Exited right here on this little candle here. So James, he teaches us a number of things. How did I know the market was going to drop like this, right? How did I know that? Like, here I am in the trade, right? And it's come up here. Like, how do I know it's not going to go to the moon? It's just going to keep going. Well, we have a little bit of a hint here. We have a wick. And there's also another line here that I don't have on this scanner right now. I don't have up on this screen that also gave us a little bit of a hint that it was probably going to reject and go back down. There's also price action as well. And there's some things that James teaches as well in that I won't talk about now. But I was able just to grab this whole move, and that's all I needed to do. Done at 8 a.m. Pacific. Done for the day. And I stayed on the call with the rest of the team just because I love the team and I just enjoy it so much. But yeah, that's what I did today. And yesterday was similar. Just blowing through gate after gate, and it's pretty cool. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for the strategy. And again, I really want to reiterate for anybody that's looking at this and is feeling the way I felt 2 years ago when I first looked at a chart. It looks a little overwhelming. Well, it doesn't take long, and this all starts to make sense. What actually will happen in a fairly short amount of time is your brain will start to decode this, and you won't even know it's decoding it. You'll just know. I mean, the arrows, obviously, it's kind of obvious, right? Look at that, right? You get the right criteria, and you know how to pick the good arrow the arrow that's gonna deliver, right? Like these ones in here didn't deliver so much because there's other criteria that I won't go into, which is it's pretty simple once you learn it. That makes it pretty obvious that the market's just going to range in here and it's not going to do much. And then all of a sudden, look at this red arrow. How do we know that was going to work well? Little hint.
Hopper.
Yeah, and PSAR outside, right there. Yeah, but that's it. The hopper, right? So I said I wasn't going to explain it, but I guess I kind of did, didn't I? And look at it. Look at the pips it delivered here. I didn't take that. I was busy doing something else. Actually, I think I did take this one on demo, just for fun. Yeah, it was 50 pips. It's pretty good. These little moves here in the market, like this little move here, could be all the pips you need for the day. Just one red candle.
Hey, Steve.
25 pips. Yeah.
This is just Matt here.
Yeah, Matt.
Someone was asking a question. I'm just kind of helping with kind of seeing stuff there. So that was the only trade you made today, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And how and would you be able to share how many pips that was? I think it was your daily goal, wasn't it? Or close to it?
It was more than my daily goal. Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think I got 40 something of it. Now, if I measure it here, I think it was a little more. But I did grab, it was 40 something. I can actually pull up my trade journal and tell you.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up, Steve, is, and just to encourage some new people, is that you don't have to enter into a million trades to be successful at this. Like Steve entered into one trade and he hit his goal. He's like, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
and I had a tendency earlier on, like I think my record in one day was 20 trades. And
Wow.
it was revenge trading. It was trying to get pullbacks. And I'm just like, I wasn't even thinking. Like I was literally like probably closing my eyes and just pressing buy and sell. Like I might as well have been doing that.
Yeah.
But now, like, you know, hearing people in the team, it's like you don't always have to trade. Know your strengths and weaknesses, know what you're comfortable with. And like Steve said, one trade, hit his goal. It's so
Yeah.
it's just well, I mean, there's studying you have to do, but it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that really attracted me to the dynamic edge strategy is the simplicity, because it's very rules based. It's quite rigid, actually. And the only time that I've ever done poorly is when I've broken the rules. And I had a period a while ago, and it was all on demo. There's no way I went to live money until I had a good win rate, which is wise. So I've never really lost much in a live account, but um the times when I lost, I had like 2 or 3 losing trades in a row. I went back and I studied my losses, and this is again another thing that the educators teach us to do, is study your losses. Your losses are not actually losses, they're lessons. And the beautiful thing about trading is you just go back in your trade log in your broker and you can see all the trades you lost. And then you go back to a chart and you look at it and you mark it up. Mark up that chart and figure out where you went wrong. And it's not hard. And every single one of those losses, when I studied it, I actually felt really good after, because I knew exactly what I did wrong. I knew exactly where I broke the rules. And I mean, that's amazing, right? So trading is wonderful. For example, if you're driving your car and you make a mistake, I mean, yeah, that's scary what can happen on the roads if you make a mistake at 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour. That's ugly, and you can't recover from that sometimes. But when you're trading, you can demo trade. It's wonderful. You can make all the mistakes you want and nobody gets hurt. And even with proper risk management, you make a mistake in a live account, nobody gets hurt. It's fine. Usually 20 minutes later, you've made your loss back and you're net positive. So it is a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful way to pay your bills. I'm really, really grateful for it. So yeah, and we had a question: how many pips was that? That was a 45 pip trade. Do we have any other questions? Anyone else have any other questions before we shut the call down for the night? All right. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. It was really fun to have you guys all with us, and we are so excited about this, not only the academy, but really this strategy, because we're seeing, people coming from swing trading, advanced traders coming from swing trading strategies where you've got to sit, sometimes you wait for days for a good setup. And what we do here is, you could probably see, if you really watch closely, you probably see that we're trading on a 1 minute time frame. So that trade I took was open for, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen right now, but it was open for 9 minutes. It was a 9 minute trade. So no more holding your trade through your workday, or waking up in the morning and hoping that you haven't hit your stop loss while you were sleeping. I don't remember the last time. I mean, it was probably a year and a half ago. I had a trade open while I was sleeping with a different strategy. So, and then again, if you lose a trade, wait 10 minutes. You'll get another opportunity, and you make your losses back. I one of the things. So we have a lot of people coming from swing trading strategies coming and joining us here with this one, and it's just it really feels good to be able to introduce people to something that I know they're going to be very successful at, as long as they actually put the work in and learn it. And the other thing too that we're really, really passionate about is about creating time freedom for people. And this is a strategy that will do that for you, because you can sit at the chart in the morning. Like usually I make my money in the morning before my kids even wake up. So, I do other things down here during the day sometimes with in my office. But as far as my kids are concerned, Daddy doesn't have a job, and I don't need a job. So I'm really excited for more and more people to really get a good look at this. So this is really why we're doing this call and why we get so excited about it. So reach back out to the person who got you on the call. And if you want to get rolling with Dynamic Edge, whether you're already in the academy or whether you're not, we can definitely get you rolling. If you have any further questions, you can also reach out to me on Instagram. I am at Blockchain Dad. So that's at Blockchain Dad. I'll just pull that up right now here. This might actually take a little longer than usual. Yeah, here it goes. So I'm at Blockchain Dad on Instagram right here. So, and you can text me that way. You can also catch me on Facebook as well, on Facebook Messenger. And I'm happy to help you out in any way that I can. And I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. I'm going to run upstairs and put my two boys to bed. So good night, everybody. God bless. Thank you guys all for joining us tonight. And look forward to seeing you guys on the Zoom with us in the mornings. All right. You're welcome, everybody. Good night.